Dear students, in this short video I would like to just discuss very important concepts of Laplace transforms. The concepts which I am going to discuss in present session is what is the definition and some examples of Laplace transforms, some examples of inverse Laplace transforms, the operation of convolution, and solving differential equations using Laplace transforms. Let us take up one by one. First of all, I would like to give the definition of the Laplace transform. That is, if f of t is a function of t, because of the net problem it's somewhat disturbing. Okay, if f of t is defined for every t greater than or equal to 0, then this integral from t equal to 0 to infinity e to the power of minus st into f of t dt, if this exists, it will be called as the if exists. Okay, if exists means this particular function is to be actually of exponential order. Not going into details of that one, I'm just saying that if this integral exists, then it is called Laplace transform. I'm sorry, it's troubling somewhat sometimes. Laplace transform of f of t and is denoted by L of f of t. So if I want to use this as the definition, okay, I need to use this as the definition. If I use this definition, L of, if I am calculating for example L of 1, then integral t equal to 0 to infinity, here e power minus st will be fixed as it is, only the function, input function will be given here. So that function is 1, I am not multiplying that one. Even if I write it 1, that's one and the same. So I'm just trying to skip it into dt. And the integral for this one with respect to t, treating s as constant, it is e to the power of minus st divided by minus s. The limits are from 0 to infinity. Taking minus 1 by s, actually this integral to be done by taking that limit as this particular number becomes tends to infinity. All these things I'm not taking for the sake of simplicity, just proceeding in a simpler way. It is e power minus infinity minus e power 0, assuming that is s is positive. Otherwise it will become, if s is negative, substituted in here, it will become e to the power of infinity. So assuming that s is greater than 0, this step is taken, and finally that is equal to e to the power of minus infinity is 0, 0 minus 1 is minus 1, that gets multiplied with this one. So finally we get 1 by s, assuming that s is positive. What point we have to drag home is that final conclusion. Laplace transform of the function, constant function 1, is nothing but 1 by s, where s is taken as positive. Similarly, if we use the definition of the Laplace transform, we get a list. Okay, so the most repeatedly used, very common and very important list is number 1. Let us take up this as it is. L of 1 is equal to 1 by s. L of e to the power of at is equal to 1 by s minus a, where s is greater than a. That I am not mentioning all the details here. L of, very important, let us discuss first, sine at, that is equal to a by s square plus a square. And when we talk about the cos at, denominator is exactly the same, that is s square plus a square. Here the variable s will appear. And Laplace transform of t to the power of n is gamma of n plus 1 divided by s to the power of n plus 1. As you are all aware that the gamma function for n plus 1 will be n factorial. So its the special case is going to become, this is for every n greater than 0, and if n is taken from a positive integer, then at that time L of t to the power of n is going to be simplified as n factorial by s to the power of n plus 1. And L of sine hyperbolic at is equal to, here in the sine hyperbolic it will be a by, similarly like sine, s square minus a square. L of cos hyperbolic at, it is similar to cos, trigonometric cos, but the denominator is different, that is s square minus a square. Keep in mind, in sine hyperbolic and cos hyperbolic, denominator is s square minus a square, whereas in the trigonometric it is s square plus a square. And in cos hyperbolic and cos trigonometric, in both of them that s will be used, and in sine and sine h will be using a in the numerator. So this is a very simple list which you can memorize very easily. Now let us take some examples. Okay, so Laplace transform of e to the power of 2t, e to the power of 2t. This should be done using this particular rule, that rule number or the list. Okay, so L of e power at is 1 by s minus a. So if you have 2t, then it will be 1 by s minus 2, 1 by s minus 2. So you can practice it with different numbers, you can do it afterwards. And coming to L of sine 4t, you have to use it as a by s square plus a square, that is 16 here. And some more examples you can see. For saving time, I'm not working on every particular formula, okay, in this list. Now comes the matter when the question comes as find L of 2e to the power of minus 3t plus 3 by 2 times of sine t. In the solution, what we do is this particular L of 2e to the power of minus 3t, which we want to find, plus 3 by 2, okay, 3 by 2 sine t, that is equal to, here because these two functions are used, you can separate it, and that is L of 2e to the power of minus 3t and 3 L of 3 by 2 sine t. It is as per linearity property, and in addition to that, when we directly use linearity property, even this 2 can be removed out. Okay, so you can take that out and write it as 2 times of L of this and 3 by 2 times of L of sine t. And it can be extended to any number of functions. So if you have 10 functions here, then you can separate it for 10 functions. So 2 into the value of L of e to the power of minus 3t, that is 1 by s minus of minus 3, that becomes s plus 3, plus 3 by 2 into L of sine t. A value is 1 here. Comparing with sine at, a value is 1. So it will be 1 by s square plus 1 square, that is finally s square plus 1. Now we will talk about first shifting property. I am trying to touch very important topics. First shifting property. This property says very simple point. If you have the Laplace transform of a function f of t as some function of s, then if this function f of t is multiplied with e to the power of at, then the product here cannot be separated as L of e power at into L of f of t. That cannot be done. And this first shifting property says just in that original transform of f of t, you replace s as s minus a, you will be getting it is not capital S, okay? It is just a simple small s. So if you want to get the Laplace transform of the product of two functions where one function is exponential, then simply without exponential whatever function is there, take its transform and write s as s minus a. Example, L of sine, or I'll take cos 4t will be equal to s by s square plus 4 square. This I'll call as the function of s. Therefore, by first shifting property or theorem, we get L of e to the power of 3t. I am taking just this function 3t into cos 4t is equal to, I can take any exponential function here. Just started an example by taking this as f of t. Now I am taking e to the power of at as e to the power of 3t. Now I'll just replace s as s minus 3. So this will become s minus 3 divided by s minus 3 divided by s minus 3 whole square plus 4 square. S minus 3 whole squared plus 4 squared. Also, if I want L of e to the power of minus t into cos 4t, because cos 4t is written here, that is why I am taking that same example. So in the place of s, I have to substitute s minus minus 1. So that becomes s plus 1. And it will be s plus 1 divided by, wherever s is there, it will become s plus 1. So this is the value for L of e power minus t into cos 4t. I'm not going in all the rules which are there in the Laplace transforms. I'm just touching the very important concepts. So let's touch up one more, that is multiplication with t. Multiplication by t. You can also multiply with t power n in general. Let me better write it for t to the power of n. Then if L of f of t means there is a function whose transform is f of s, we know, then L of that same function f of t, if it is multiplied with t to the power of n, then its Laplace transform can be easily obtained just by multiplying minus 1 to the power of n to nth derivative of this transform here. So in particular, suppose I am multiplying just with the t, then I'll take that n value as 1. So what happens is L of special case, okay, with t equal to 1, L of t into f of t is equal to minus 1 into d by ds, because I am multiplying with t power 1, so I have to take only first derivative of the function f of s. Now you can do problems upon that concept by taking the derivative of that. So these are the very important concepts. I'm not touching all, I said earlier also. Now let us come to the situation where we talk about inverse Laplace transforms. Inverse Laplace transforms. Try to see in the way in which I am showing you. Suppose if you have a domain here and codomain is B, you're having a function f of t, and Laplace transform is nothing but a transform, means it is a function. Transform is also used in the place of function. It's a synonym, okay? We're not going into much rigorous details of this. L of f of t is some f of s. So how this L will work? It will take a function of t. For example, L of e to the power of 2t is equal to 1 by s minus 2. I'm calling this as f of t and I'm calling this as f of s. So what happens is that function inverse L, okay, L inverse will be from B to A, where it will take the input as f of s and it gives the output as f of t. So this particular reality, this particular expression, we are going to take it as equivalent to L inverse of, what I am doing is this L I am taking on the right hand side. So L inverse of 1 by s minus 2. So when L inverse is applied here, there will be nothing here. That will be only e to the power of 2t. Nothing in the sense that L will not be there, I mean to say. So these two convey the same message. One is saying that in this direction, the other is saying in that direction. So whatever is conveyed in this box, that same is conveyed in this particular box. So I'll give a very funny point to you, that is the student who knows that 2 into 8 is equal to 16, the one who is able to answer this one, that one is expected to also answer about this one. If it is 16, what will be there here? If someone says that you give these two numbers, I'll be able to tell this number. But that fellow is not able to tell this number when this result is given, means somehow this fellow did not work up with the tables properly. At higher level, not talking about what is the tables, tables of 2, all these things, we just simply say that 8 is taken that side, this 2 is divided that side, so you will be getting that particular number, that is 8. So division process, it is here element and its inverse is used here. Just what I mean to say here is that, simply speaking, if you are able to tell this product when these two numbers are there, you should be able to tell this number when these two are given. So what I mean to say here, I'll clear this frame. I mean to say that if someone knows that L of e to the power of 3t is equal to 1 by s minus 3, and to that same fellow I am saying 1 by s minus 3 is here, what comes here, then that fellow should be able to tell that it is e to the power of 3t. So rather than asking in this way, we say what is this, that is L inverse of 1 by s minus 3, s minus 3. So if I say what is L inverse of 1 by s plus 4, s plus 4, then you should be readily able to tell. Actually, I am asking, what is this? So indirectly I am asking L of what gives this 1 by s plus 4. So it is e to the power of minus 4t. I hope you understood. So I am not dwelling much into this one. I hope you are clear about this. Now question comes, what is the previous slide? Inverse Laplace transform. Fine. Now finding L inverse. So let us do some problems where we find L inverse using basic concepts of intermediate of partial fractions. So find, which are very very important concepts that only I am touching, s plus 1 divided by s minus 2 into s minus 3. Solution. First of all, what we do is let s plus 1 divided by s minus 2 into s minus 3 is equal to some a by s minus 2 plus b by s minus 3. Now what I mean to say here is, you should have the idea of the partial fractions, in what way we have to break up. If it's a second degree, you have to take as plus b, which is not reducible to first degree if you have a second degree. then you have to take as plus b by s minus s square plus 2, for example. If you second degree can be splitted into first degrees, you have to do it. So there is a lot of detail behind that one, using the concept of partial fractions. So somehow you get the value of a and b. So what I now do is, therefore, L inverse of this particular value, to save time I'm not writing all this, is equal to L inverse of this value. This value should come here. So I'll just simply write 1 by s minus 2, and I'll take that constant however outside. So it will become b into L inverse of 1 by s minus 3. Now you know that for first degree it is just e to the power of t. So a will be there, e to the power of 2t, and plus b value, whatever b value comes, negative, positive, fraction, whatever, that b will be there as it is, e to the power of 3t. So this is somehow the problems can be done in that way. If you have a second degree, suppose if the question comes, find L inverse of, okay, find L inverse of s by s square plus 4 into s square plus 1. Then we know one thing, that is the convolution theorem, which says that, I'll simply directly write in that case, L inverse of, you make into two parts, okay. This is f of s into g of s. You treat it as some function of s into some function of s here. So what I now do is, this s by s square plus 4 I take up as one function, and 1 by s square plus 1 as another function. So what I now do is, I'll split it like this, as s by s square plus 4, this complete into 1 by s square plus 1. Now this L inverse of s by s square plus 4, and separating this into two functions like this, s square plus 1, this inverse of this product is whatever elements, whatever functions inverse transforms comes, you have to perform the operation of convolution here. So L inverse of this product is L inverse of this first function convoluted with L inverse of this second function. So L inverse of this one is nothing but, you all know that it is 2 square, so I'll take it as cos 2t. So star, it will be sin t. Now just I'll give the hint of convolution, that f of t star g of t will be equal to integral u equal to 0 to t, a new variable u you are introducing, and first function will be written in terms of u, and the second function will be written in terms of t minus u. You just remember u minus u getting cancelled like this. That is the way of remembering. So somehow you remember that first u is used, second t minus u is used, and integrated with respect to the new variable, and the new variable limits are this one. So if I want to find cos 2t star sin t, then that is equal to integral u is equal to 0 to t. Cos 2t is to be written as cos 2u now, and sin t should be written as sin t minus u. The variable is t minus u, here the variable is u. Wherever t is there, we'll write u. Wherever t is there, we'll write in the second function t minus u. So in this first function, in the place of t, I have written u, and in the second function, in the place of t, I am writing t minus u, and it is du. Now to save time, I am not going in much detail of this integration. So you can do this by taking 1 by 2 here and 2 here, and this product can be written into the form of sum. First of all, you have to treat that u as the variable, so you better write it as sine of, just a hint, sine of minus u plus t. Then when you do the integration, that the u derivative, u coefficient of u is minus 1, that to be taken into consideration. So if I just deal with this problem, it takes a lot of time, so I'm not touching this one. You can do this integration. Finally, whatever function of t comes, that function, some function of t comes, not f of t, because I have used already f of t here. So some function in terms of t will come, that is the convolution of these two, and then that convolution of these two will be the inverse of this particular given problem. Okay, this particular given L inverse, that will be the convolution of these two, and the convolution can be brought in this way. So uh, let me come back to what we have discussed till now. Okay, we discussed this particular Laplace transform and inverse Laplace transform. Somehow I touched some very important cases, and convolution is understood up to some extent. Okay, and solving differential equations using Laplace transforms, this is the very okay, the very important aspect from the application point of view also. So we can solve the differential equations using Laplace transforms. I'll try to finish in short amount of time. So let me come back to solving this particular differential equation. So first of all, before I solve the differential equation, I would like to tell you that if L of y is a function of t, is equal to some function of s, and instead of that I'll just call it as some function y of s, and this is y of t. Better I'll write it y of t. Instead of f of t, I'm just calling it as y of t. So if L of y of t is equal to y of s, that capital Y of s, then Laplace transform of y dash of t, the derivative of this one is s into this y of s minus value of y, this function y, at t equal to 0. Now coming to the point, I can conclude in this way. Instead of writing if then statement, I can simply say that the last line, that is L of y dash of t is nothing but s into this y of s. I'll just directly say that it is L of y of t minus y of 0. So in conclusion, with this much of background, what is the conclusion? I'll just write that conclusion. That is L of y dash. I'm not even discussing the name of the variable, inside variable. So L of y dash is s into L of y minus y of 0. So this particular result, if you repeatedly use, means second derivative is the derivative of the first derivative. So using this concept, you can say, in conclusion, I'll just write the last conclusion of this one in this slide. L of y dash is equal to s into L of this y minus the value of this y at 0. And continuing this particular rule for second derivative, you have to repeatedly use this rule again. So this finally comes as s square into L of y minus s into y of 0 minus y dash of 0. Now I'll tell you the trick how to remember this one. First let me write 1 or 2 so that you will get some clear idea. S cube. Let me say that third derivative starts with s cube, and the first term will have Laplace transform of that function. Minus all the terms will be minus from here onwards, and the power of s will be decreasing by 1 unit every time. So s square will be coming. Now once the first term is L of y, only first term is L of y. After that L disappears. It will be just y at 0. Next derivative will be coming into picture. That is minus, again s power is decreased. So it will be y dash of 0. Again minus, that s also disappears because s power 0 is 1. So f double dash of 0. I hope you will be able to tell now what will be L of y fourth derivative. That is equal to s to the power of 4, and L of y will be there. L of y will come only in the first position. So s cube will be there here. L disappears, y appears, and then differentiation starts for this y dash, y double dash, like that. If it is third derivative, the end will be second derivative. If it is second derivative, the end is first derivative. So it is s square into y dash of 0 minus s into y double dash of 0 Again that even s disappears because s is falling down, power of s is falling down. So it will be y third derivative at 0. And nobody will give you the differential equation up to fourth order. Maximum they'll be giving third or only up to second order. Now this y of 0, y dash of 0, y double dash of 0 are required to tell what are the Laplace transform of the higher derivatives. Now we'll touch up one problem on this concept to solve. Trying to solve very simple problem now. Minus 3y dash plus working method will be similar. Okay, the only point is if you come to know how to solve it, you can solve even the difficult problem. To save time, I'm not going in much detail. Okay, so e to the power of 4t for example, and it is given that y of 0 is 0 and y dash of 0 that is also, let me take it as 1 better. So y of 0 is 0 and y dash of 0 is 1. So given that, okay, we have to solve given that these two conditions. These two conditions are also called as initial conditions, and because of which it is also called initial value problem, that is in short called as IVP, initial value problem. A differential equation given along with initial conditions is called as initial value problem. Coming back to the point, I'm sorry, this pen is troubling sometimes. Solution. Given differential equation is y double dash minus 3y dash plus 2y is equal to e to the power of 4t, that is number 1, along with these two conditions. Okay, these two conditions are to be written here. I'm saving time, I'm not writing. So applying Laplace transforms throughout this equation number 1. Applying Laplace transforms on both sides, we get L of y double dash minus 3 times outside. Okay, I'm applying and I'm taking the constants outside. So y dash plus 2 times of L of y is equal to L of e to the power of 4t. Now let us write in the next slide. What is the value of L of y double dash? Just now I said that it is s square into L of y. First of all, that second power will appear for second derivative, second power of s, and L of y will be there. Then falling down, power of s, y of 0 will be there, then minus s power 0, that is nothing but 1, y dash of 0. First L will disappear, y will appear, then derivatives will start increasing from here. So this is completely the value for L of y double dash. And minus 3 times of L of y dash. So that is minus 3 times of L of y dash, that is s into L of y minus, I'll write it somewhat neatly, s into, because it is first derivative, first power of s will appear and L of y will be there. Next s will be gone, so y of 0 will be there. And next that plus 2 times of L of y, we are not doing any change here, that is L of y, that is equal to 1 by s minus 4. 1 by s minus 4. Now, substituting that conditions, what we get? S square into L of y minus s into y of 0 is given as 0. So I'm just substituting that, y of 0, that is 0. I'm not writing in this way. Somebody may feel it's to be calculated at 0. So I'm missing this one. Because y of 0 is 0, I'm just skipping this term. And y dash of 0 is 1, so it is 1. So this one minus 3 times of s into L of y. And because y of 0 is 0, this term is gone. So plus 2 times of L of y is equal to 1 by s minus 4. Now what I do is L of y is common in all these terms. So I take L of y common. So what I get now, that I'm writing here itself in the same line, implies L of y is taken common. So I get s square minus 3s plus 2. And this minus 1 I'll be taking on that side, so it will become equal to 1 by s minus 4 plus 1. So please don't be mistaken with this line getting confused here. I'll try to write it here somewhat in the same line. So what I now do is minus 3 times of s into L of y, and this is gone, so plus 2 times of L of y is equal to 1 by s minus 4. So this is now going to become s minus 4 plus 1, that is s minus 3 divided by s minus 4. But this is the value for this one, so I'll not write that here. I'll simply say that it is equal to this one. It is equal to this one. Again, the point is I'll just take that here in the denominator. So it will become s minus 3 by s minus 4 into, so I'll simply say L of y is equal to. However, I have shown you how are these steps coming. So it is not a jump from taking directly. So what I'm telling you now is L of y will be equal to s minus 3. You are clear about this one because that minus 1 has gone that side after adding 1 plus s minus 4, that is going to become s minus 3 divided by s minus 4, and this coming down, it is going to become s square minus 3s plus 2. Now we are in need of y. Actually speaking, to solve this differential equation, the main motto is to find the value of y. That y is depending in terms of t. So what is the relation between y and t? We are calculating that relation. So to find that relation, we have to find y in terms of t. Now very beautifully we have the value of L of y. So we want y from this one, then take L inverse of this one. Therefore y is equal to L inverse of s minus 3 divided by s minus 4, and write it into factors here, this one, that is nothing but s minus 1 into s minus 2, s minus 1 into s minus 2. Okay, now finding this L inverse can be done just by taking partial fractions. So it will be in the form of a by s minus 4, b by s minus 1 and c by s minus 2. So you can get the appropriate values for that one. So it will finally come as L inverse into some a by s minus 4 plus b by s minus 1 plus c by s minus 2. And finally it will be a, whatever a comes after solving it, okay, after finding the values of a and b, it will be a into L inverse of 1 by s minus 4, L inverse of 1 by s minus 4 plus b into L inverse of 1 by s minus 1 plus c into L inverse of 1 by s minus 2. So it is something a into e to the power of 4t plus some b into e to the power of t plus some c into e to the power of 2t, and we are now ready with the value of y in terms of t. So the advantage of solving using linear this Laplace transforms is that these conditions will be applied in the beginning of the step, and finally we get this particular solution directly. In the ordinary way, if you do, you have to first find the general solution. As you have done in differential equations, you will be just calculating the general solution and then you'll use these conditions to find the arbitrary constants. I hope you understood. Best of luck for your examination. Because of the power off, I could not complete that previous part, that is nothing but revision of unit 4. Some two topics are pending. Uh, Tomorrow I will try to attach that part, or else separately record a video. Here I actually have done using the screen recording, and I don't have enough power again to continue with this one, so I may not be able to upload that today. Tomorrow I'll try. So thank you one and all.